Work the text.
Point number one. What is the process of the breach? I'm not trying to shorten it.
Come on now.
How does the enemy begin to breach your heart? Begins with demonic word called seduction. All of us been seduced. Ain't no valley below. I had somebody sing. You didn't even like it. I'm a female, so I got, you didn't even like it. You know, it was ugly. Everybody telling you, come on now. Everybody telling you, don't bother with him, don't bother him. He bad news, he bad news. But he ran such a good game on you. 1 Timothy 4:1 says, now the Spirit speaketh expressly that in the latter days some shall depart from the faith, giving heed to seducing spirits and doctrines of devils. 1 Timothy 4:1, to seduce means that you lead someone astray, that you lead them to iniquity, you entice them to evil. Here now is the seduction is a relationship word. And so what happens when the enemy begins the process to create a breach in your house, in your heart? He seduces you. Seduction then becomes the turning of your heart and your mind and your soul. You turn from righteousness and you turn to unrighteousness. You started out, Jesus on my then the seduction. You're going to have to guard against that. People that will come and say, you still playing for that church? I mean, you can do better than that. Come on, so seduction is a thief. It is the theft of your affection from God. I know you used to love him a little bit more than you used to love him now. But all of a sudden you don't love him that much no more. Because you've been seduced by demonic powers. Seduction, however, is only successful because it targets the craving of your soul. And so seducing spirits, am I boring you tonight? No. Seducing spirits then begin to search. They begin to search because they're trying to identify unhealed, dormant places of pain. Where you won't let the Holy Ghost in to heal you. But you keep saying, your heart is so hard, you won't let healing take place. So the enemy finds a way to attach himself to that unhealed pain. He finds, they search for unrealized expectations. My God, I've been in this church so long, I'm supposed to be a ruling member by this time. Why am I still? You're looking, they begin to look for weights. Chains weigh you down. They begin to look for sins that don't so easily beset us. They begin to search for disappointment, for depression. These spirits begin to search for pride, for vanity. They begin to search for untamed tempers. They begin to search for corrupt imaginations, pornography. They begin to search for corrupt conversation. They're searching for unholy soul ties, improper relationships, When you begin to yield to these spirits, oh, I know there's some yielding that's going on. They'll lead you away. All of a sudden, one day, you're here in the church, and you're clapping your hands. You're the praise and worship leader, and you just praising God. The next thing we know, you're sitting halfway to the back of the church, and before we know it, you're in the back of the church. And when we're not even thinking about it, you are no longer coming to the church because you have been enticed. You have been tempted from the faith. You have been tempted from your, I feel like I want to preach this. You have been tempted from your place of allegiance. You have been tempted from your integrity. You have done stuff that you never thought you would ever do. Why? Because you did not guard your heart. And the enemy got inside of your heart and began the cycles all over again. When those cycles were supposed to have been dead. Because according to 2 Corinthians chapter number 5 and verse number 17, therefore if any man be in Christ, he is a new creature. So the only way that those cycles can begin again is if you allow a breach to your heart. I need 5 people to help me preach. Tell your neighbor, guard your heart. Hallelujah. Ladies and gentlemen, my brothers and my sisters, I submit to you tonight that our heart, from when the life flows, is under attack. The process of the breach now continues beyond seduction to stealth. Stealth is anything that is done in secret. Stealth is anything that is done in a concealed manner. You see, there is a difference between a thief and a robber. A thief takes your property by stealth. He figures out when you're not home. That's what the thief was doing in my bedroom when I didn't even know he was there. Oh, Lord. While I'm laying on my bed in my pity party with my sanctified self, the thief had crept in. So I'm going to get it out. I'm going to shut her mouth. I'm going to steal the anointing. I'm going to steal her faith. I'm going to rob her of everything she got. But Jesus. I can't go there right now. See, a robber attacks you openly and strips you by force. So after he has seduced you, pulled you away from the rest of us that are sanctified, and has emptied you of righteousness, then the thief goes to work. He begins to fill your heart. As it says in Acts chapter number 5, Peter asked Ananias, why has Satan filled your heart? To fill means to occupy the whole of something. It means to pour into something until nothing else can come in. Look at your neighbor and say, neighbor, don't let him fill your heart. He'll fill your heart with bitterness. He'll fill your heart with meanness. He'll fill your heart with unforgiveness. And my God, just like a natural heart, it cannot take things that it was not made to contain. Your natural heart cannot take cholesterol. Your natural heart cannot take clogged up arteries. Your spiritual heart cannot allow me to You can hold off a little bit, son. I really ain't ready to preach. He said, where have you conceived it at? You have conceived it in your heart. What is conception? Conception is the forming of in your mind of a plan to deceive somebody. Conception means to originate, and then it begins to breed. So cycles don't just affect you. You breed. So you don't want to be the only one in the church smoking reefer while the rest of us ain't smoking.